guys, for today's video, I am going to be reflecting on my yearly favorites of 2018 and letting you know my current thoughts on those products. And I've seen a bunch of people do these videos this year so far, which has been awesome because I think these are very helpful and interesting. But I did want to say that I've been doing these on my channel for a really long time. I used to have a monthly Throwback Thursday series, but it felt too repetitive, my thoughts on hauls, so I stopped doing it monthly. But at that point, I decided to then do it yearly with reflecting on my yearly favorites from 2 years prior. And I've done that for the past couple of years. So just so you know, I've done this video several times before, but it's really fun. I really look forward to it. And it was so fun for me to look at this selection of products because first off, I do still have most of them in my collection, which good or bad, depending on how you see it. But it just made me think of like a happier time where I use like makeup wise, not life wise. I'm in a happier time right now life wise, but makeup wise, where I was using more things, trying more things, really falling in love with more things. My yearly favorites this year is going to be a lot different than what I had going on here, especially in the amount of products, but very reflective of the times and exciting. All that being said, let's jump into the products. I will have them listed down below. I will link the original video. The first product would be the Dr. Brandt Pores No More Primer. I love this one. It is in my top 2 pore filling primers. The other one I love is the Urban Decay Optical Illusion Primer. The consistencies are totally different. The Urban Decay is very thick and this is very thin. However, I do think this does a nice job of helping to blur pores and wrinkles. I do have some forehead wrinkles and I will apply this every day. And this is a nice thin consistency and it meshes well with other primers and moisturizers, which is fantastic because some other products I've used, they tend to pill or ball up or just not mesh well. I have never come across another product this does not mix well with. And I think this does a really great job of filling pores and wrinkles. Am I still able to see them a little bit? Yes. Is it that bad? Not really. You really got to get close up. But this does not work for everyone. My sister and I both have very oily skin. Her favorite is the Professional and this is my favorite. And this is like her least favorite and the Benefit is my least favorite. We both have oily skin, so totally personal preference, but this is something I definitely will repurchase in the future, especially if I'm able to get it for half off. It's very expensive, but it's a really good product, lasts a long time. I've worked my way down here, so hopefully I can finish this by the end of 2021. We'll see, depends how much I'm wearing makeup, but yes, this is still a favorite. Next, I had the ColourPop No Filter Concealer in the shade Light 10. And this is a awesome concealer for blemishes, under eyes. It has a medium buildable coverage, more of a satin finish, which is great. I think it makes it very versatile and it will be able to work for a lot of different people. They have a lot of shades, so it's good. But the reason that I fell in love with it and included it in this favorites video is because this is something I was using to give extra coverage on my cheeks. So I would apply just one layer of whatever foundation I was using at the moment, and then almost always I will have some redness showing through my cheeks because I don't cake on foundation. So then I just take a couple swipes on each cheek, blend it out, perfect. And this is a great shade match for me because it does oxidize a little bit. It's too dark for my under eyes, but works perfectly for my skin. And it just meshes well with any other foundation I put it on top of. It would blend into it seamlessly, just give me the perfect amount of coverage. It was seriously perfection. It looks so good. The only negative is that I went through it very, very quickly. There's just not a ton of product in there. And I ended up not repurchasing it because I did buy the Estee Lauder Double Wear Maximum Coverage Foundation, which you can definitely use all over. And with it having that much coverage, it actually does not feel that heavy, but that is something that I decided to use to do some spot coverage. And that tube, because it's a foundation, is gonna last me ages. Even though it was very expensive, it's gonna last me forever. So as much as I would say that the ColourPop concealer is still a favorite, I haven't used it in about a year, so I don't think I can quite say that. And I have replaced it with something else that I found to be more cost efficient. But this is definitely one of the best concealers I've used for coverage. Again, I like it under my eyes, but I think Tarte Shape Tape is a better under eye concealer. I'm about to mention a better blemish concealer, but it is a good one that I would recommend. And I I would still say is a favorite, but I guess I can't quite say that if I haven't used it in over a year. Next, I have my favorite blemish concealer, which is the Estee Lauder Double Wear, and I have the shade 1 in Light Neutral. I used to have Extra Light. I think it's the same color. It's just that they have expanded the shade range, which I'm so happy about. And this is seriously like MAC Pro Longwear in a tube with a doe foot applicator, which is great because I think we all were so annoyed by MAC's packaging with that little pump. This, I love the way that this smells. This and Double Wear foundation, like I don't really like scented makeup, but these, I love the way they smell. It's like nostalgic smelling for me. But this gives awesome full coverage. It has more of a satin finish. I have used this in a different shade for under my eyes before, loved it, but this is incredible for blemishes. I have tried several other concealers. I've tried the MAC Studio finish, which people say is great for blemishes. I don't like it. It's too sticky. I like it better for other things. This is perfect for blemishes. One tube usually lasts me a year. This is also nice for building up coverage in the cheeks, but Holy Grail blemish concealer, definitely still a favorite. Then I had a whole mess of face powders, which is not surprising. So I had 2 from the drugstore, 2 high-end, 1 powder, 3 loose. So the powder, I said powder, pressed. The pressed powder would be the Maybelline SuperStay Better Skin Powder in 10 Porcelain, giving you guys a little sneak peek for my project pan here. But I've definitely expanded the pan, which is exciting. This is a very beautiful powder. At first, I thought it was kind of a ripoff. You weren't getting much product, but when you look at the amount of product in here versus like the Fit Me pressed powder, it's actually, I think, about the same amount of product, even though this looks very small and you've got the sponge in there. It's just like a deeper pan. This is a beautiful powder. I'm using it today and it helps give like more of a full coverage airbrush look to the skin, and that's what I like about this one because it doesn't look as powdery as some other pressed powders that I've used. I also have used this before as a powder foundation, which is not really my thing, but I did before, like put under eye concealer on, put face primer on, then I literally used the sponge with the powder and swiped it on my skin. Looked gorgeous, not powdery whatsoever. So this is something that is the best pressed powder that I've tried, but it's not a favorite any longer because I just don't use pressed powder. I have to force myself to use it because I much prefer loose powder on a day-to-day basis. Unfortunately, this was also discontinued, but I have this one and one backup that I would love to use up in 2021. And then from there on out, I'm just gonna use loose powders except for my Holy Grail touch-up powder, which is Rimmel Stay Matte. So then for my 3 other loose powders, I'm just gonna go ahead and spoil it for you. All 3 of these are still favorites. I would call them Holy Grails. So the first one is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder. I have the shade 5 Fair. This is really nice to set the under eyes and set the face. It does give coverage. It helps set your makeup. I would not say that this is like a really mattifying powder or a really dewy powder. I think it could work well for everyone. So this works in so many different capacities, so this is really good. The only thing I don't like is it's hard to get all the products out. I have seen Alex from One Beauty Addict find a way to open the bottom and take it out, but it seems like a lot of work that I'm not particularly interested in, but it's annoying. You can't just like pop out the sifter like you can with other products, but this is still a favorite. The other 2 would be the Too Faced Born This Way Ethereal Setting Powder and the Too Faced Peach Perfect Mattifying Loose Powder. These both come in a couple different shades. I have the translucent light shades in both of these. And the Born This Way powder has a little bit of a yellow tint. The peach powder has a bit of a peachy tint. And they can make my makeup look a little dark. So when I use these, I do always mix in a little bit of this Fit Me powder just to help correct the color. It works perfect. This is great on its own, but it is a must-have mixer for me to get these powders to work color-wise because the formula of these is amazing. And these are like my favorite Too Faced products. So the Born This Way powder, it's not glowy, but this is not mattifying. So this is my go-to in the wintertime. It sets the skin, gives a little bit of coverage, looks very perfected. And then the Peach Perfect powder is from their mattifying line. So I like to use this more in the summertime, the fall time, and it works perfectly. I don't feel like it makes me look too dry, but it is a very mattifying powder. If you have dry skin, I don't think you would love this. But if you're interested in anything from the Peach Perfect line, it is still on sale at Sephora. I'm not sure if it's being discontinued or not. I really hope not, because I love all of the complexion products from that line, but all of those loose powders are definitely still favorites. Next, I have got 3 blushes, and this first one is the IT Cosmetics CC Radiance Ombre Blush in Je ne sais quoi. This is a very pretty satin finish blush. It's a like warm pinky peach color. It looks very beautiful on the skin. The other one I have is the Too Faced Love Flush blush in Funfetti. This was limited edition, also really nice satiny finish blush. Both of these were gifted to me from friends. I do still enjoy these. I think that they're really pretty colors. They perform very well. I would not consider these favorites any longer. For me, there are some blushes that I have loved for years, and then there are some other blushes that I am just really enjoying wearing because they're new to me. But these are ones that are not something that I want to declutter, because I still really like them and I enjoy using them, but they're not my most favorite any longer, so I wouldn't still call them favorites. However, the other blush I would. This is a Tarte Amazonian Clay blush in Captivating. This is such a beautiful matte peach shade, and this is like a brighter peach. It's not like a nude peach. I love this color. This is a good formula. Like I've said before, I would recommend not swatching these because the oils in your fingers tend to dry out the product, but really, really like this color, so I would still call that one a favorite. And the same with the highlight. This is the Anastasia Amrezy highlight, and this is one of the only golds that works for my skin tone. Now, I can only wear this in the summertime when I have a little bit of color, and I feel like it just meshes well with my other summer makeup. But the formula of this is amazing. It is so metallic. It looks pretty smooth on the skin. Any kind of highlight is going to emphasize texture. For me, any kind of very like shimmery metallic highlight is going to emphasize texture, but this one is so good. I really wish Anastasia would make this permanent and that she would come up with more shades in this formula. I'm thinking of her original highlights that she had years ago. I think they came in 4 shades. I never tried those, but they look similar. Like the formulas look like they'd be similar, but I'm really not sure. But definitely a favorite. So happy that I have this. They've brought it back a couple of times, but definitely a great product. Then I had some ColourPop Super Shock shadows, Just for Fun and Kathleen Lights. Just for Fun was limited edition. Kathleen Lights may have been discontinued. Just for Fun is it's spelled fur, like F-U-R. It's a really pretty pinky shade that I think had more of like champagne-y and silver shimmer than gold shimmer. It was not like NARS Orgasm. It was a little bit more silvery than that. And then Kathleen Lights is a really pretty like coppery shade. I used both of them up. They are great shades. I wouldn't necessarily consider either of these to be favorites. I like my ColourPop Super Shocks, but I'm not as in love as I used to be, so that product in general is not my most fave. If both of these shades re-released, I would not buy Kathleen Lights, but I would buy Just for Fun. I felt like that was a unique shade in my collection, and when I was panning it, I really, really enjoyed the way my makeup looked, so I would repurchase that one, but I guess I wouldn't still consider it a favorite just because I've been doing fine without it. But I used it up, so I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. Then I had 3 eyeshadow palettes. And the first one is the Alamar Cosmetics Reina del Caribe Volume 1 palette. You have 4 shimmers, 4 mattes. This was like the one and only time I think I've created halo eyes, which was very scary to me, but they looked so amazing with these shades. These metallics, especially El Malacion, wow, God was on my side because I almost dug my nail into my shadow, which would have pissed me off, let me tell you. But insane. The mattes in here are good, but the metallics are really what's impressive. I enjoy wearing this one in the summertime. It's a pretty palette. I'm super happy I had it, but I don't think I would consider it a favorite any longer because it's not something that, you know, I'm reaching for all the time, but it's still good and I would recommend it. Then I had the Morphe Jaclyn Hill Bling Boss palette. I really enjoyed this one as well. I created more more red look and a more purpley look. I really like this. This performed very well for me. I have made other looks with that palette, but those two in particular, I loved. If I remember, will link my palette of the month review video I filmed a couple years ago. This performs well. I do enjoy it. It's something I wear in the winter time, and it wasn't in my makeup basket for this month, so I haven't used it yet. So I'm definitely going to use it and love it. I don't want to declutter it, but it's not one of the top 10 most reached for palettes in my collection. The other one I have is the Huda Beauty Desert Dust palette. I love the Huda palettes that have her face on them. I know like the Naughty Nude they just released this year doesn't have her picture on it, and I wish it did because I think Huda is beautiful, and like this is everything. So here is what the inside looks like. I really love most of the shades in here. There are some I don't really use very much, like the Stupid Glitter, and then this shade here, I just don't like that color. It feels a little out of place to me, but everything else in here I think performs super well. I wish her other palettes had this beautiful like metallic shimmer formula. After this, she started doing something different with the new nudes and trying to do those marbleized shadows, which I think are very pretty, but these regular metallics are incredible, and she has not been putting them in palettes as much, which is such a shame. In the new nude, I think there's one of them. Girl, what is you doing? Those are your best shadows, but the mattes I think work really well in here too. I didn't reach for it a ton the past fall because I have so many fall palettes, but I still get excited when I see this, when I think about it. So for that reason, I would still consider it a favorite, and I do really like the formula of everything. Then I had some liner favorites. So these are the ColourPop Creme Gel Liners in Zulu and Prance. I had actually used these up a couple years ago and repurchased them. This is a beautiful mint in the Zulu shade, and then Prance is a periwinkle blue. I love the ColourPop Creme Gel Liners. They're some of my favorites of all time. These are so perfect for the waterline and the lower lash line. These are not good for upper lash line because they're very, very dry. It will break. It will break in chunks. It will not glide so smoothly on the upper lash line, but these are perfect for the waterline. As someone with very watery eyes and very oily under eyes, so many liners run on me terribly. These do not. They stay in place very well, and these are very opaque for pastel shades. I'm not sitting there going over my waterline over and over and over again, so I think that's very impressive. So definitely recommend the ColourPop liners in general. I know not everybody loves them, but they work really well for me for the waterline, and these colors are staples for the spring. The other product I had was the Clinique Pretty Easy Liquid Lining Pen. This is a brush tip applicator liquid liner. Very long lasting, like the tube itself will last you a long time. It does stay in place really well in the eye, super easy to apply. But the Physicians Formula Eye Booster Liquid Liner is a dupe. If you buy Physicians Formula full price, they are kind of similar in price, so definitely wait till you can get Physicians Formula about 40% off. But because there is basically an identical drugstore dupe of this, I wouldn't purchase it again, but if I got any as free gifts, I would definitely use them up. It's a great product, but I'm gonna save a little money where I can. So then I had a couple lip products. The first was the Tarte East Glossy Lip Paint. This is in the shade Obby, which is very pretty peachy nude. I had a deluxe size sample of this that I had used up, and then these became part of the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale some time ago, and I purchased this one in another color in the full size. Let me show you what the wand looks like right when I pulled it out of the tube. There is too much product on here. Too much. Like, bleh. So here's what it looks like. The color is very pretty. I honestly am completely over these glosses. They're not a favorite anymore at all. They are just too thick and goopy. They're a little bit sticky, but the stickiness is not terrible. They're very pigmented, they're pretty, but it's just like too much. It's too thick and goopy, so not a favorite anymore, which is a bummer. I'm glad I got them half off at least, and I'm not gonna declutter them yet. I wanna use them a little bit more before I do that, but yeah, not a favorite. Then I had a Dose of Colors liquid lipstick. This is in the shade Rosebud, which is a very pretty cool tone, more purpley, pastel-y pink shade. So pretty. I love this color. This one, I would say it's still a favorite. I'm trying to think. This is something I wear in the spring. I don't have a ton of spring lip products, so I would say that this one is a favorite. I've gotten rid of a lot of the pink lip products in my collection because I prefer nudes or peaches, but I really do like this color, especially when it fully dries down. It doesn't look so blue based. Their Dose of Color liquid lipstick formula is my all-time favorite. It is fully opaque. It does dry down to a matte finish, but it's not as drying as something like the Anastasia liquid lipsticks. They come in so many amazing shades, so I would say this one is still a favorite. Color is not holy grail. Favorite, definitely. Formula, I would say, is a holy grail favorite. The other lip product I had was the Urban Decay Vice Lipstick in Criminal, which was a very pretty warm pink shade. I ended up, when I wore it this past year, I decluttered it because I just didn't like the color on me anymore. And the Vice lipstick formula I think is just okay. I'm not gonna buy any more. They've gone half off several times. I've tried other finishes like the creams. I haven't liked them at all. This was a comfort matte finish, which I think is the best finish, but I just ended up not liking that kind of shade on me anymore, which is weird, but no, that one is not still a favorite. Then I had a bunch of nail polishes, and the first three are all from 90 Lacquer. This is a brand created by JessFace90, who has an awesome nail polish blog, Instagram, YouTube channel. I definitely recommend you guys check her out. And the first polish I had was Robin's Egg, which is a beautiful blue with a bunch of different like multi-dimensional glitters in here. Still a favorite, love that one for spring. Then we have Cottontail, which is supposed to be a rose gold polish with more of a rosy pink color to it. Now this just looks like a champagne gold. All of the pink that was in here has completely dissipated, which is very odd. I'm not sure why that happened, but because the color has changed, it's not a favorite any longer. Then I have Igneo Pebblet, which is, it needs to be mixed up a bit because this also was more of like a copper polish with gold glitter, and you can see like the copper liquid up here, but it's looking a lot more gold. But wait, okay, you can already see it a little bit more now as I'm shaking it. This one I would say is still a favorite. I think Jess makes amazing nail polishes. You guys know I love these kind of colors for fall, so that is still a favorite. And Robin's Egg for sure. Then I have some from Kale Polish. This brand is no longer around. It's created by Kathleen Lights. She now has her new Lights Lacquer brand, and the colors she's been launching, I just, for the most part, have no desire to purchase, but I do feel bad for her because I feel like she made so many amazing shades with Kale Polish that she can't just copy everything in her new brand. And I'm so happy and fortunate that I bought so many from Kale Polish. So all of these are still favorites, so I'll let you know that. So this is Chloe, which is an amazing olive cream. Medusa is a beautiful oil slick kind of color. So gold, green, you can see a little bit of like blue teal around the edges. Princess Penny, an amazing copper foil. Peanut Butter is a very pretty mix between like a tan and a mustard. It's a little bit more wearable than Caramello. Then you have Taurus, which is a beautiful warm brown color. I'm not crazy about browns, but I love this one. So all of those are incredible, amazing formula, amazing shades, absolute loves. Then the last product I have is the Seche V Top Coat. Holy grail. The first time I used it, I completely jacked up my nails. I was like, this is terrible, what's happening? Then all of my nail polish friends were like, Heather, you are not using it right. Because I will wait 10 minutes in between each coat of nail polish, but you don't wait 10 minutes between your last polish application and your top coat. You don't do that. For me, I wait about 2 minutes because I don't want my nail polish to be so wet that the top coat becomes discolored. I wait about 2 minutes and then I will apply like a thick layer of this because I don't want any brush lines from not having enough product, and I hate dipping back in because I feel like it will then like look a little bit uneven. So I would rather have extra that I have to like wipe off on my brush than have not enough. But I do think that this does a great job of keeping my nails hard, and it makes them look very shiny. I just painted my nails yesterday. Very shiny. I do think that not necessarily that it makes my nail polish shrink, which is something that I've heard about this. I think I just get a little bit of tip wear. It could be some shrinkage as well, but I don't mind. I've had that happen with other top coats. I've tried several top coats in the past. There have been others I enjoy, but I do think this is the best, and this is pretty readily available at drugstores, and I tend to buy this at Ulta. I try to get it on sale when I can, but a bottle lasts me forever. It does get pretty thick when you get halfway down, but I just use the Sally Beauty Supply nail polish thinner, just a couple drops once I get to that halfway mark, and then I can get almost to the bottom, and then whatever I have left, I will actually just set to the side and use it to go over top of Sharpie markings for my project pans to help those stay in place. But amazing top coat, highly, highly recommend. But again, just make sure you wait about 2 minutes after your last layer of polish, not any longer, or it's not gonna work as well. So guys, those are my thoughts on all of my favorites from 2018, and I'm happy that a lot of these products I do still love. There are some things that I like, but I'm not like obsessed with any longer, but I do still feel really good about this, and looking at all these products makes me very happy. So I would love to know your thoughts on these products in the comments down below. And I want to thank you all so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye guys.